Always loud enough. Welcome to the John McAfee Show. Woo! I really hope everyone knows who John McAfee is. He does feature more than once in my talk. And I hope you like memes. So, welcome to Security as an Actual Service. My name is Sam Humphries. I'm your host for the next 20-ish minutes. I'm also the opening act for the Beer Farmers. So, come for the John McAfee Show, stay for the Beer Farmers. All good. Welcome, new friends. This is me. Here are some exciting things about me. If you had any reason to stay in this room, the fact I am the undefeated 3-times air hockey world champion of Bangface, that's probably the best one that's there. I've been doing security for way too long. I'm tired. Not a very good DJ. But I've done all sorts of things. I've got marketing in my job title right now. Please don't judge me. I've done incident response. I've done a lot of apologising on behalf of my former employer, McAfee. And that maybe is why I'm obsessed with John McAfee, even though I did not work there at the same time as him. So, and if you want to chat sality outbreaks, I am your girl. That's 2 people nodded. Great. I talk a lot for money. I've talked to some big auditoriums. Anyone who ever gets imposter syndrome, don't worry about it. I can tell you the most scared I've ever been about doing a talk was when BSidesMCR were like, yeah, you can come and talk. And I was like, what? All right. As you can see here, I talk to hugely crowded rooms. And you're not scary at all, people. You're not. So security is an actual service. This isn't just Sam went to Australia, which I did. And as you can see, I spoke to a room. I was a crap DJ. And I went to BSides Melbourne. But on that trip, I went to the UTC in Sydney. And there was a sticker on the wall. And, you know, we're security people. We like stickers. So I was like, ooh, what's that? And it was a sticker from the security team that kind of said who they were, where you could find them, and a few things that they could do. And I was like, that's cool. I like that. Anybody here work in a university security operations team? Wow. If I had a hat, I would currently be taking it off to you. These are some of the most disgusting, horrible environments possibly on the planet to try and defend. So I was talking to the team at the UTC and I was like, how do you deal with this? You've got all these students and all this stuff and it's really hard to defend and protect when everything's changing all of the time. Come on in. And they said, well, we kind of treat it a bit like a service in that we let people know what we can do for them. If they want to come and get some help, well, here we are. And that's kind of it. There was a bit more to it, but I was like, that's pretty cool. That's kind of how you deal in a desperate situation. But it got me thinking of like, how can we take this a little bit further? So before we go into what SaaS is and why it's amazing and you should all do it and your lives will be so much better, these were the promises I made you that are in the program. They're kind of the same thing now. I was going to make a no stick as well, and I apologise for no prop, but just pretend. And cheeseburgers. But bottom line, at the end of the situation, you will hopefully be more carrot. All good? Excellent. So why are we here other than we wanted to sit down and it's B-sides? Here is the problem right here. This is the no stick. Anyone ever said no in their security career when someone's asked them for something? All right. Anyone ever said, that's great, go ahead? Well, less of you. But no is a real thing for us. We say no a lot because we have to, and here's why. We get brought into stuff way too late. All right, how many times does someone go, oh yeah, so we're releasing this thing, right? Tomorrow. Can we have a security review? And you're like, yeah, brilliant. Or they don't tell you because they don't know who you are, or they think, security, they're just going to say no, I'm not really going to bother. And then nobody knows what we do. If anyone knows what 30 to 50 feral hogs are, you win a prize. 5th of August, best day on the internet ever. So, sound familiar? We've all been here, right? Yeah. And this is a good day, because somebody remembered to call security and ask them. And then there's this problem, right? There's the whole shadow IT thing. So because you said no in the past, people are going to work around you. Or they don't know to come and talk to you at all. But more to the point, they're like, no, these folks aren't going to help me. I'll do my own thing. Let's spin up that AWS bucket. Let's go. So it's a problem. And here is a good example of a problem, and also an example of things that should never, ever, ever be on the internet. Fish tanks. Does anyone have a fish tank that's connected to the internet? Do you? Is this your fish tank? Should see the dog. Anyway, casino, got hacked, internet connected fish tank, camera, thermometer, default settings, dark trace, you can read all about it. I can guarantee you, Team Fish Tank didn't think, I should chat to the folks in security before I roll out the fish tanks. Right? Because arguably something may have been different. High rollers' information was stolen, they got about 10 gigs of data out, wasn't pretty, or because somebody wanted to connect some fish to the internet. Okay? Do not connect your fish to the internet. So, in the name of research, I did some research about whether or not people knew or thought that folks knew what security did. So thank you if you replied to this. Of the 60 people who voted, you are wonderful. I will say that a sample set of 60 is more than female makeup generally has when claims are made. So I'm happy with this. People don't know what we do. I asked some Facebook friends as well, because I'm like, they're definitely not going to know. One person knew. So well done, Louise McAfee. Gold star for you, although she did say blockchain. Oh well, lots of people said I don't know, some people said I don't care, and some people said everything's on fire right now, and they work in a school. So, right, let's get to the crux of this thing, right? Everyone loves carrots, I fucking love carrots. Right, what is a SaaS? So I mentioned I work in marketing. Please read my wonderful marketing statement, and then we'll get into what it actually is. In fact, I quite like the last bit. We don't like the oh shit moments. And we get the oh shit moments because people don't talk to us. They don't collaborate with us. They don't know who we are, and sometimes they don't care. So, what really is it? What I'd like you to do when you go back to your organisations as security teams is think of them more as a customer. And ideally not a customer that you hate. Maybe one you'd quite like to get on with. That would help things. Tell them what you can do. I would guarantee some of your processes might be a little complicated. So maybe think about that. And let them tell you when you do well and when you don't. That's kind of it in a nutshell, but let's dig in a little further. Picture a world where this happens. Think about how you would feel. That'd be all right, wouldn't it? I'd like that. People came and talked to us early on in the ideas process. Not at the end, not never, not after, not oh shit, at the beginning. But how do you get there? Before that, I think Game of Thrones now is a little old from a meme point of view, but who would you rather be? Joffrey or Arya? Because I guarantee you, some folks in the organisation see security as Joffrey. And Joffrey got poisoned. We've had enough time now, thank you. So, we all want a bit more Arya, a bit more carrot. We want to be involved in stuff. So here's where I want to get you to. And the benefit is not just for your organisation, it really will help you. You'll understand more about what's going on. Visibility is always the first challenge, but we tend to think about that in terms of systems and applications. But if you get a heads up on projects, you're more likely to get involved in things that will require your skills earlier in the situation. And then hopefully, not so many oh shit moments, less time fighting fires and dealing with people's poor planning. And it's good for your org, right? The projects don't get delayed. Security said no right at the end, or security made us change all this stuff. It's better for them, the systems are better secured. They might even learn from you and go, wow, this cross-functional stuff's working really well. We should maybe do a bit more of that. Let's go to the pub. And they'll be able to innovate faster. Let's apply this to the fish tank situation. This could have been how it went. They knew to talk to security, and they did. Security helped them. Maybe still said no. But, in this wonderful world, fish tanks are now secured. I never thought I'd be talking about securing fish tanks, but, sometimes your career goes that way. Fish tanks rolled out, everyone's happy, fish are having a great time, high rollers get to gamble, dark trace don't get to do a report. All is well. So, here are some things you can do. Tell people what you can do. It's a good start. I've got a menu that you can use if you like, coming up. When you help people share that knowledge, you might sometimes get thanked in a project email somewhere in the bowels of like, yeah, thanks legal IT security. Explain, like, do you sell the story? Tell them. Tell people how you helped. You can be creative. And then showcase the folks in your team. I guarantee again that folks think of security as this amorphous blob and don't think of them as being human beings. Okay, so talk about the folks in your team. Oops, jumping ahead. And then be easy to contact, be accessible, have your processes in line so they're not horrible to deal with. Have lunch, teach people things. Have lunch, don't teach people things, just make friends, go to the pub. So here's a menu of services as an idea. Things that you can offer proactively to people's projects. Be that pen tests, reviews, meme advice, very important. How long does it take? What's the lead time? And it's more of a service point of view than it is the no stick and stopping people from rolling out their beautiful project or their fish tank. Security often live behind the great firewall that is the help desk, and they're somewhere back there. So if you can be a bit more accessible, I'm not saying like put all your personal details, invite people to your houses, all that stuff. But if there's ways people can contact you and they know how to do it, and like, please respond. It sounds simple, but you know, the black hole syndrome, it's a problem across lots of parts of the business. But if security are more accessible, people will be more likely to come and deal with you. Processes. 150-page process document is nobody's friend. It's not the friend of the person who wrote it. But, you know, if someone says, well, I need this thing, you're like, all right, boomf, fill this out. They're probably not going to do it. So taking a step back and being like, what do we need to kick this off? Rather than scaring them with gigantic PDFs, things might go a little better. This is the best piece of marketing real estate in an entire building, I guarantee it. How many times have you sat on the toilet and read the poster on the back of the door? Yeah. What are the things you know about from the back of a toilet door are quite something. And a word to the wise, have it at head height, not looking up. You're going to catch more attention from somebody sat down, I promise you. Other surfaces are absolutely available. But, you know, it's a sticker on the wall at UCC in Sydney that piqued my attention with their team. There's loads of ways that you can grab people. Let them know how to get hold of you. Let them know what you can do. And then you want to measure things, right? Now, help desk are doing all of that, you know, time to answer, time to close, all of the metrics that operations need to be able to function, and managers love that stuff. But if you're going to treat this like a service, think about it from a satisfaction point of view. When you're doing customer sat, never have an even number of options. You need a meh. You need a middle. Especially in this country, I find. We do love a kind of, it's kind of okay, or an I don't know. Which, can we go and find out? There's different systems you can use. This is one of my favourites, actually. How much effort was it for you to get help? Was it a ball ache to deal with security? Or was it okay? That's a good thing to go measure. Because you can look at then how you're being viewed by the business. And then the best thing with metrics, you've got to do something with them. Like, don't just look at them and go, these look nice. Graph goes up, graph goes down. Do something with them. So, run back into your organisations. SAS all the things, but actually don't just yet. Okay, like everything, it needs a project. There's some ideas here of how you can do that. You can have these slides. You're welcome to take them back into your organisation. Tell them all about John McAfee. It's very important. They'll love you for it. But yeah, here's some ideas of how you can make this real. And it's not just a one-time experiment. You know, new people join your company. New projects will spin up. Be accessible, and I promise you your lives will be better. All right. Obviously, I'd love your feedback, and I do love you more than John McAfee in tinfoil. Maybe I don't. Who's got questions? Wow. Yes.
Which company were you the chief quality officer?
The word is actually on the screen right now. It's... did say sorry a lot. I worked in McAfee Labs. That's fine. I had to say sorry a lot. Generally for stuff I didn't do, that was all right. Cool. Any other questions about Sam's terrible life? Yes.
If I work on the other side, how do I make it better?
So, if you want to like talk with security more, or
In terms of like engaging.
I think it's like a lot of things with technical folks, right? Just generally from an engineering point of view, coming to somebody with an idea of what you'd like to do, without maybe solving the entire problem. That I find that always tends to work better from a conversational point of view. Like, we've got this idea, we're thinking about this, not, I need you to punch this hole in the firewall, dude. That's going to kind of work better. So, collaboration. That's what I'd recommend. Come on, Martin, you've got a heckle in you. Yes.
Do you have any companies that you come across that have successfully implemented SaaS service in their organisation, provide a top-notch service for their wider stakeholders?
Where I've seen it more often and seen it done badly is when someone's outsourcing. And it just gets done really badly because they'll go to the letter of what the piece of paper said when they got bought. But those guys at UCC in Sydney, I think that was a good first step. But they had a team of like -1 people or something. So, it's like 3 of them. So it's harder to get done. And every organisation is different. So you've got to do what you can with what you've got. Some of this will take time. Oh, this is for the beer farmers. I clicked accidentally. Do you want to see my set list? Right, did anyone see John McAfee in a Lithuanian Faraday cage? So, yes, there's an actual question. I'm going to skip back from this. Yeah.
I tend to work on doing infosec engineering architecture, financial services company. One time ago, I learned management by walking back, going to visit and talk to people.
Amazing.
Unfortunately, because I have a very good technical context now with the certain teams, the other areas, the teams, and all this, I get too much traffic. And it's stopped me from meeting my project deadlines and some of those things. And I have to, at times, ignore stuff coming in. It's just like, hey, can we see about this? Can you ask about this? It has pros and cons, the approach, but certainly the recommendation for information security generally is you're a no-shop. If you do go out and start approaching people,
they might need things.
I'll find you enough. Hey, can we just ask you this or that? Sometimes just asking this, something that comes in 2 days of work for you. I have to go research something or have to use a OS operating system security recommendation.
I mean, it's a good problem to have in some respects, but I hear you. I do think one of the things I've found works for me when I'm going to deal with a team I don't normally talk to, if they run like an office hours session where they say from like 3 to 4 on a Wednesday, like, come and talk to us. Like, if you want to ask questions that way rather than, have a formal process stuff or getting lost in an email inbox, that can help. And maybe some sort of process around, or just asking them, like, when do they need it for? Because sometimes they'll be like, hey, I'm just thinking of this amazing thing. I've got these fish tanks. I've got to stop clicking on that. I've got these fish tanks, right? Like, well, we're going to put them anywhere? Well, no, I just heard about them. That can still take up some of your time, right? So sometimes it's a case of saying, like, is this real? Or, where are you in the process? Any more thoughts, questions? Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I know we think of as a service as, something that's billed monthly software-wise. It's a way of delivering software. And I was putting the slides together, I was thinking about this as to whether or not to include it and go down that rabbit hole. I'm thinking it more as of a service where somebody needs something from you, they know how to interact. So more of a business transaction process. And I see customers very, very simply, in that a customer is somebody who needs something from you. So if you want to get into the whole billing me for my time, because my time is precious, it is a way you can go and look at it. There's certainly multiple directions this can take. I looked at it also from a customer experience lens as well, and that kind of felt like it was going a bit too far. But this is more about providing a predictable service and making sure people can interact with you rather than just being either ignored or brought in too late. Does that make sense? I feel like we need to talk about this over beer. I like that. Okay, any more questions? Marvellous. You have been a wonderful audience, and this has been emotional. Thank you.